The Blues Fan Forum podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to bring you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.
This is Jordan Bennington, and you're listening to the Blues Fan Forum podcast.
Skating on the ice, under St. Louis city lights, where the Blues play with all their might. Jordan Cairo, fast on the attack, but defense falters, gotta cut him some slack. In rubber tongues, we find our glory. His skills shine, the team's best story. St. Louis Blues, we wear the crest. In Jordan Bennington, we put our trust to the test. On the ice, we fight and we must, for the city we love. In the blue, no we'll thrust.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 140 of the Blues Fan Forum podcast, your source for Blues news, views, and fan interviews. Powered by Scooters Coffee, Blues fans can score amazing drinks like the signature Caramelicious, served hot, iced, or blended, with world-class espresso, fruit smoothies, Scoot energy infusions, and so much more. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters Coffee. Weirdly enough, I'm drinking cold coffee right now. It's 5:45 in the evening, and I was like, "Oh wait, I still had extra coffee from this morning in the fridge." So I'm, yeah, I'm like, it's mushroom coffee, so it's supposed to be good for you. I guess maybe that needs to be next on Scooter's list. I still go to Scooters, I still support, but that's not as healthy because when I go to Scooters, I get chocolate and lots of sugar and sometimes the ice cream. But it's amazing. It's really good.
The size of what they give you sometimes, my jaw dropped. My girlfriend was like, "Can we go to Scooters?" I was like, "What do you want from Scooters?" She goes, "Oh, I'll let you know."
The biggest chocolate.
It's bigger than my face, and I'm passing it to her in the thing. I go, "What did you just order?" And she
essentially like a smoothie, but with a coffee flavor.
I don't remember if it was something berry and it might have been chocolate. I don't know, but like it was a lot. I don't know. She's a big coffee drinker. I'm not.
All right, we are back, episode 140. That new voice there is our guest for tonight. His name is Justin. What's up, Justin?
How's it going? Representing RTG Media and 5 Hole Hockey.
All right, we're going to get into that in a second. Let me introduce Dakota because Dakota is here, and if you're watching online, you might notice a very bare white background for Dakota because he's in a new location.
Yeah, I feel like I move every year, but man, I was 10 minutes late to this podcast. I'm the one that like made sure it was 5:30 instead of 6 o'clock. Because I got to build a 8-foot table here in about an hour and a half. But like, I'm sorry for being late. It won't happen again. We're going through some moving, the moving debacle. I couldn't find my laptop 15 minutes ago. My microphone was still attached to the stand that I don't have a post for. So nonetheless, we're here. We're talking Blues hockey, so we'll be fine.
Facts.
That's how could that's probably the best part of your day now, right, Dakota?
Yeah, just trying to be a dedicated co-host.
I love it. All right. Justin, you kind of already let off on it, but that's right where I wanted to start because not only are you a dedicated Blues fan, but you're so dedicated that you have your own podcast called Five Hole Hockey, right?
Correct.
All right. So tell me a little bit about 5 Hole Hockey and then make sure you tell the people where they can listen to it.
So 5 Hole Hockey, you can find us all on Facebook and Apple Podcasts. And if you go to YouTube and just simply type all lowercase 5 Hole Hockey into the search bar, we are the first channel to come up. 5 Hole Hockey is actually a rebrand that I started that we started, I believe, almost 2 years ago. The first podcast that I started in high school was called the Hockey Highlights of Tonight podcast. That was kind of like our little beta that we started. And somebody gave me that. But as soon as I wanted to evolve and understand that we have to be on, Instagram Shorts, YouTube, and basically cover all of our bases, I'm like, hockey highlights of tonight, literally just me saying that right now, that's a mouthful. And I was just, and then I tried to like make it funny, like it's an inside joke on the podcast that we talk about all the time, of like, oh, the old podcast, hockey highlights of tonight. They go, oh, you mean HOT? Like
That sounds cooler.
That's what I said. So that's what I said. So HOT, like that's the inside joke that we always call that we were once HOT. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. The reason why I stepped into podcasting is because definitely I had the radio dream when I was definitely in high school. I got bit by the bug of maybe one day either doing play-by-play or maybe being a PA announcer sometime in my life. Like I said, when getting to radio was top priority for me, like junior year of high school, like Doc Mike Emmerich was literally like my idol. He really was, and it's still one of my idols to this day of broadcasters. Like, you know, you look at Joe Buck of his crossover, and honestly, Kenny Albert too. Kenny Albert does basketball, he does hockey, he does football, he does everything. Like he's just one of the role models that I've had.
His daily life is just talking sports.
Yes, and then you also get to hear his story about his father. His father also did it too. And I would just love like 2 hours of just sitting with him to just soak up. I need to read his book. Kenny Albert has written a book, and I really need to put that on my Amazon wish list. So, yeah, RTG Media is kind of like the overhead company that 5-hole and RTG sports is underneath it, because we have 5-hole hockey. That's obviously just space on the entire NHL. And then I kind of do one with my buddy Josh where we talk about football, baseball, and all the other kind of like the 4 sports or whatever. So I'm grateful to be here, and I can't thank you enough for reaching out. And I've been a fan of your guys' show for about almost 2 years, and I just have to give you props. What you just showed me, the song, the presentation, the fact that you got freaking JB to like say you guys are listening to your guys' I was impressed. I was like, dang, I need to work a little harder. I need to get in some rooms where, you know, Pronger says go listen to 5-hole. Like, that's
right.
Impressive. I gotta give you guys your guys' flowers. Like, that was cool.
Well, it's I've told the story multiple times on here, but it's one of my buddies drunkenly won or paid a lot of money for a meet and greet for a Blues player and picked Jordan Binnington. And so he asked Jordan if he could say that for me. So that's the only piece of like, I guess, real material that's from that. The video is a video from Facebook. A guy named Frank Sanko post kind of just clips. He just mashes clips together. And so I use that from from YouTube. I think I said Facebook earlier. And then the song is 100% AI generated. So I had ChatGPT create the lyrics for me, and I kind of edited the lyrics as I wanted them. And then I found a AI generating music thing online, and I just copy and pasted the lyrics into it and told them what kind of beat I wanted, and that's what I came up with. So it was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I like
That's
to
awesome.
think that we're big time here, but really we just know how to cheat the system, I guess is really what it is.
Literally, before we started, you heard how I cheated the system on doing everything what we need to do.
Right.
When you want to do something long enough and hard enough, you figure out a way.
Exactly. All right. We do have some of our friends here. Of course, Sam's here. Sam was our guest last week, but now she's back in the comment section. So thanks for listening, Sam. And Dakota, you're getting some harsh words. You need to be better. It's unacceptable from, I believe, your sister, right?
I'm about to see her in about 15 minutes or 30 minutes. She's coming over to my house. She's talking a lot of smoke for somebody who's about to just show up.
That's so funny.
All right. And then we have someone on YouTube watching that said hi, and then they said hi again, and then they said hi again, and then they followed it up with another hi, and then they said, how are you? So thanks for being here, Hostin Sanchez, I guess is what we're going with. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some hockey. Unless, Dakota, do you want to tell us about the move, or do you just want to act like it's not going on right now and just go into hockey?
I mean, I'm gonna prove you the man cave that I'm building in like a month. It'll be finished in a month. It'll be one hell of a podcast studio / man cave. So that's where we're gonna be watching the Blues, the Olympics, and all that fun jazz. Got my old the Blues hockey sticks that my dad collected over the years. I wouldn't say collected, probably stole from the Blues locker room. If you want to hear about those podcasts, feel free to go listen to them again. But it'll be a fun podcast studio / whatever you want to call it. I just haven't had a space that I could actually record podcasts from in quite a while. So, yeah, stay tuned for all that. Also, Jacob, congrats on going viral on Facebook. We didn't talk about that, or have
That
we
was
talked about
kind
that?
of cool, wasn't it? That's I guess our second official time that this was the first one on Facebook. The other one was Instagram. But yeah, I mean and Justin, I don't know if you saw this. Every time we win, I post the video of the people in church dancing really weird. It's hilarious, and it says Blues win, and it's got confetti, and then it's got the
I know what meme you're talking about.
yeah, it's got the music behind
Yeah.
it for the Blues goal. And so every time we win, I post it. And for some reason, let's see, 2 wins ago or 3 wins ago, whatever it was, ended up just getting shared and liked and commented on, and ended up with I don't even know what the final was. I think it's
54,000.
Is that what it's at?
Yeah,
So it's still getting
54,000.
likes. Like someone liked it today. That's what I don't understand is why people are still liking it. Like the Blues have won 2 other games and lost 1, but you see that video and you're like, "Hey, Blues won." Like, no, no, they didn't. So
hey, sometimes that 7-second clip is the highlight to someone's night. The Blues win, fine. But you got to check Blues Fan Forum Facebook to make sure we're posting that, though.
Make sure it's posted. And sometimes I post it twice because I use a app called Buffer to post to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the same time. And sometimes it pops up and it goes, "Oh, sorry, we hit a snag." And then I look online and it goes, "No, you didn't. It's on. Like it worked." I don't know. Technical difficulties. If we were a professionally run podcast, then maybe we wouldn't have those things. But we are moving up in the world because I got to show you this. Normally, I have these fancy papers with all of this stuff, like all the information written down. This is from my episode last week with Sam, and then this is from my episode 2 weeks ago with Luke. But now we have an iPad, and I have all the information that we're going to talk about today on this $50 iPad that I bought. So yeah,
it's impressive.
We're moving up in the world. All right. Okay, let's actually talk about hockey because I think that's what people are here for.
Let's do it.
Most recent games. We're gonna start with Wednesday against New Jersey. It was Wednesday, November 26th. The Blues were playing at New Jersey. It was the 5th game of their season-long 5-game road trip. Ended up being a 3-2 overtime loss. No shocker there. Fowler gets his first goal of the season, which was interesting. And then, sorry, I got to zoom in on my new iPad because I can't read what I wrote. Thomas scored his 4th goal of the season. Bennington stops 26 of 29 shots for an .897 save percentage. Justin, were you able to catch this New Jersey game?
New Jersey game, I believe I was watching. I'm trying to remember where I was. I might have been, no, because that was because obviously we were away. I think I might have gotten the 3rd period because we were fighting hard. Finals wasn't final score. Oh, final score 3-2.
3-2. This was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
I might be
Blackout
thinking
Wednesday.
of the Rangers game because the Rangers game I was watching with my girlfriend. And I'm like, we're winded. We're winded that we're in MSG right now. Like Rangers are trying to like prove a point here right now. They're on the same like a little bit of a struggle bus that we are right now about playing in front of home. And it got 3-2, and I'm like, nah, they're winded. You see Bush Navis, which is his shoulders look heavy, like skating back to the thing, like it's over. It's just hard. And like some games are gonna be like that. I wasn't just gonna sit here and trash it, but that New Jersey game had a lot of energy too, as well, especially for us going into 3-on-3. Definitely the atmosphere was rocking that night.
That's one that New Jersey has been dominant at home too, because at the time when we played them, they had only lost 1 game at their home ice, and it was an overtime loss. So for us to take them to overtime, I don't know. This has been happening a lot. Maybe you've noticed this, Justin, but a lot of we're getting better, or you know what? It's okay that we lost in overtime because it's overtime. We took a good team to overtime. We're getting better. I guess what's your thoughts on, is this team getting better, or how do you feel about overtime losses?
Well, first off, let's give props to New Jersey where it is. Let's give props to Sheldon Keefe, the new head coach of everything. I believe this is his 2nd year. because last year was his first year after leaving Toronto. Even Sheldon Keefe too, and just even New Jersey in general. They're kind of like gelling as much as just like Anaheim is right now. But as far as taking the attention to the Blues of overtime losses, this is just kind of like the story. I'll just flat out and say it. It's definitely hard to obviously win in this league right now, harder than any time. And I always have the opinion on we need to be good in our division. If we are not good in our division and who cannot be competitive in our own division, we're not going to go anywhere. Okay, we lose to Washington. Cool. Washington plays a completely, I don't want to say completely different style game, but very, very different than normal people do. Than Central versus West. If we lose to the Flyers, yeah, it sucks. It is what it is. But if we are getting our butts whooped by the Mammoth, if we're getting our butts whooped by Minnesota, people that we're going to have to face on a regular basis, we play Nashville 3 times in December. Like that's there's no easy games anymore. This isn't 2013, 12 or 2011 of just like, it's like, we're playing Vancouver tonight in 2011. We're playing Calgary in 2015. Nah, this is 2025. There are superstars everywhere. There's superstars on Flyers. There are superstars on Buffalo, even though a lot of people don't think there are. There are superstars in Buffalo.
There's like 7 number 1 picks on that team.
Yeah, for real. For real. And like that's what I'm saying. I go, it is hard to win. And it's and you put 6 players on the ice with 2 goaltenders on overtime, on 5-minute overtime, on a rowdy crowd, whether it's away or home. It's a nail biter. Everything's going to be a nail biter. This isn't an easy league anymore. But kind of just wrapping up the point, it's one of those things where you don't want to just say, oh, we can just take what we can get. But I also believe, I know this is going to sound really weird, but like, our road trip, losing in regulation with Toronto, yeah, that stings. Losing in Philly, what was that, overtime again? And then we did win in regulation against the Islanders, but losing in regulation towards the Rangers and losing in overtime in New Jersey. Because I've got the schedule pulled up right here. And like I said, I guess, we're in that month where we just have to look at each other and just say, could be worse, but it needs to be better.
You take 5 points out of those 10 on that 5-game road trip. You take 5 out of 10. Some people say, all right, you're away for a very long period of time, 5 games against some really good teams. I guess some really good teams, also some teams that should also be good. Like Toronto should be better. The Rangers should be better. The Islanders, I think, are actually playing better than they should be. And that's the team we beat. But a lot of those teams playing either not good or whatever, but taking 5 points out of those 10, do you see, I guess, are we glass half full or we're happy with that? Or are we a glass half empty of, we were
from the part that the trip was mostly Eastern Conference, I think we should take what we can get. I honestly feel like that instead of Toronto, like I said, Toronto, Philly, and did the New York road trip, if this was maybe a Canadian road trip of maybe Vancouver or Calgary or people that were in our own conference, I don't see us getting those points. I really don't. I see us honestly probably getting none of them, excuse me. But just because obviously of, winning in regulation. Basically, my point is, I guess you can say, I think glass half full is in our momentum because we played the East Conference. If that road trip was more Western teams, I think we would have gotten our butts whooped.
Dakota, how do you feel?
Sorry, I muted myself.
As you break your mic.
Yeah, I was trying to going through some difficulties over here. Justin, I like your point, but I'm gonna piggyback on it a little bit. I do think the OT, like those 5 games, I even talked about it, like maybe prefacing before the podcast released that the week before that. But I was like, what are we coming out of that happy if we go 500, or we take 5 of 10? Are we happy if we get 8 points? Like, what's going to make us happy as fans? I would have been completely happy if we just took like 1 win and 4 losses. Reason why is wins were hard to come by. And I still feel like they are, right? We're going to talk about the next 2 games, and obviously those are large sample size of what I believe the Blues can do. And then maybe we'll touch on the fact that, we've now hit this injury bug. But going back to the OT losses, that's demoralizing for us as fans, but I can only imagine what it feels like for the team because you feel like the whole time it's going in our favor. Sometimes the ice is tilted our way, sometimes it's not. But when it is tilted our way, like last game, it just seems like they have everything. They have everything under control. Finally, like, all right, cool. All lines are rolling, but then something happens, whether it be a penalty, whether it be a odd man break, back-to-back odd man breaks, and then immediately the ice tilts in their favor, the opposing favor. I just don't understand how it gets to that point, and then how do we retain that momentum? We give it away pretty easy, just like we give pucks away in the neutral zone. Like that's just like the MO of the Blues. How do we get that back? How do we forecast, okay, we're going to lose our steam. Like you said in the New York game, it seemed like the Blues were in quicksand, right? It seemed like the Blues didn't have their legs, which I can understand playing, 5 games on the road. You're not sleeping in your bed. You're probably not getting the best sleep. Montgomery's probably just dog walking them or whipping the shit out of them in practice. But like at some point, you've got to like, what do they say? Find that other gear. Is that something that, I feel like that's something people say. You got to find that other gear.
That's a saying.
You got to find that gear and just start going on it.
The next man mentality, because it's not like, oh, we've always been a home team. It's like, no, we've gone on some crazy stretches and winning aways. It's happened before. We can win away. It's not the problem. But I also think it definitely can have a tie. I believe that we definitely have new players in key roles that have not, I don't want to say just developed chemistry, but I definitely think there's trust issues, and there's always going to be trust issues. We're watching the fastest sport on earth competitively, physically the most fastest sport on earth, and you're going to put Suter on our brand new squad and expect instant results? No. Same with Bukestad. You think he's going to get instant results? No. Like, that's why everything is repetition. Obviously, there's definitely a point where things have to, line up and everything. But on top of playing in a new barn with a new people, with new people on key roles, that's where I kind of come in with kind of like the glass half kind of full mentality of just like, look, like whatever's happened is going to happen. Let's be grateful that it's December right now, not February.
We'd be offload some people probably at that point. Actually, in February, we'd be watching good hockey. It'd be the Olympics.
Have you seen this come about on the lounge? I follow a lot of other podcasts too, and some of them have been chirping Parayko and Bennington, and those are the guys that represented us in the Four Nations, right? So obviously they're going to have a decent nod at the Olympics. Has Colton Parayko and Jordan Bennington played to the level that they need to be as far as Olympic starters? I don't know.
I mean, it's if you're asking me just straight on, I definitely think that there is definitely a reputation that is playing in their favor more than what is on their this season report card. I think that if we did not have Four Nations last year to be able to showcase, definitely our 2 stars, because obviously Robert Thomas was supposed to be in the Four Nations, but he couldn't make it because of injury. He wanted to take more time off. But I also think that thank goodness that Team Canada was able to see how Parayko operates. Thank goodness they were able to see how Binnington could. But if that didn't happen last year, I don't see him. I don't want to just say Binnington doesn't make the roster, but I don't see him just getting at least a chance of the first sip of water of the starting net.
I'll add to that real quick, and then got a couple comments. Justin Scott came on a couple episodes ago, and he's got some good questions for you guys. You got to remember who the general manager of Team Canada is. It's Doug Armstrong. So that helps a little bit. There's a little bias there.
It does.
And I think it also helps Binnington that luckily the other goalies for Canada aren't great. Logan Thompson is playing really well, and I think he's going to be the one that if Binnington's not the starter, it's Logan Thompson. But I don't know if Canada has 3 surefire guys that are going to that are going to not or
It's
unseat Bennington.
Very, very different. This is 2026 Olympics. There's no Carey Price. Like, we don't have Carey Price anymore. There's no Fleury anymore. There's no, Marty Brodeur
No
was
big
definitely
guys.
Canadian. We're losing Canadian. We're losing Canadian legends. They're retiring, and now our Canadian legends are right in front of us. For Aiden Hill, Jeff Skinner really wants to be a part of this. And then same with JB.
I mean, I think JB has definitely earned his spot. I mean, he did win a Stanley Cup. He did win a Four Nation. Not saying that is a large sample size for what he can do, but I do think, and they did kind of like backtrack last year at the Four Nations, and I promise this is my final point before we get into questions, but I do think that he has earned that right to be called a showstopper. Like, he is a lockdown goaltender when it counts, when all the chips are on the table. If you were to interview, like, I would say 30 NHL analysts, I would say at least 80% of those guys are going to be like, I want JB. Given the fact that, yes, he's had a rocky start to the year, I would be very, very shocked if they didn't say JB in that.
And I agree with you 100%. And, like, I guess you can say one last point before we get to the questions, because I had this debate with my friend Owen, because he was just like, oh, your goalie's a shoo-in. I go, I didn't think that last year. He was on the roster. I did not think he was a shoo-in. I go, yeah, Doug Armstrong's GM, but who's reading off the names on the outline? John Cooper, the head coach for Team Canada, Tampa Bay's coach. You, like I said, and this is the argument that I was making with Owen. I go, I never said in a million years that he deserves the starting role. I think he went with the hot hand and goes, you know what? I'm gonna give JB a shot. If he's able to be composed and do whatever and he needs to do, then I'm not going to take him out until I need to. Because, Aiden Hill has won a championship, and Aiden Hill was pretty healthy when they went as well. So I just want to make that very, very clear for just people that are watching and everything. Oh, well, Binnington's a shoo-in. Not necessarily. John Cooper may be like, nah, dude. You like I said, if we didn't have the reputation of what we just witnessed of all last year, who knows who would have gotten the starting? It could have been Aiden Hill who won all 3 games, and Binnington could have rode back up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's look at good question here from Justin. He does say he might get some heat for this, but he thinks the team has played good hockey consistently for about 2 weeks, and they're just not getting the wins, which kind of goes into the overtime loss conversations that we've been having, because he did also add that they outplayed almost all of those teams that they're kind of going into overtime with, and then just giving up goals there. So, Justin, what's your thoughts on last 2 weeks? You think the Blues have been playing well?
Justin, I agree with you. I say this because this is the point that I was making. I think that we are playing very, very good hockey, but kind of adding to your point, there's just something that I think if almost like we're getting blurry at the end of the second period. Our legs are getting heavy at the second period, and then we have to get ourselves out of a 3-2 hole or a 3-1 hole, the worst lead in hockey. And I guess you could say that, we've been playing really, really good teams in their own barn, like the Islanders with the chemistry that they're having with gelling. You're facing a hard team of Philly of that road trip of Mitchkov and now Trevor Zegras. And then same with New Jersey, Heischer, not Morgan Geeky, but the Hughes brothers and everybody in New Jersey with all of their additions and everything. Like, it's a star-studded team. I have to agree with Justin. I think we are playing good. It's just, there's always a flip side of the coin. If you're not having luck, then where's the luck going?
To the other team, I guess. So
yeah.
I wrote couple stats down, and this kind of goes with this conversation. Our last 10 games, which is roughly 2-ish weeks, the Blues in their last 10 games have scored 18 goals. Okay, that puts them at 23rd in their last 10 game span. So is that, I know we're saying we're playing better. Are we happy with 23rd in the last 10 games?
Are
No.
you saying 23rd in the league?
23rd in the league in their last 10 games. They're 18
out
goals.
Of 32? mean,
Let's-
it could be worse. It could be
Yeah,
better.
could be
I mean,
worse.
if it was 18, I would be like,
I can
yeah,
make it
out of
sound a
32.
little better. It's
Okay.
tied for 21st.
Let's
They
see.
just had us on 23 here, but
Glass half full.
yeah.
Oh
So-
man,
What's first?
Colorado,
Colorado.
third, actually, and
Colorado.
Washington. They have scored
Yep.
32 goals.
Colorado
in
is
their last 10
gelling, and
games.
so is Washington. Washington is gelling.
I will say, goals forced or the goals that the Blues are scoring doesn't seem, for me, has been a massive change.
Mhm.
It's the goals that we're giving up. Like when I see, we're losing in overtime, but we only gave up 2. We only gave up 1. We only gave up 3, whatever it might be. So if I look at the goals against in our last 10 games, the Blues have given up 22 goals in their last 10 games. That places us tied for 18th fewest. So
This
even
just
though we feel like we're playing better, but then you look at these very, very basic stats and you're like, we're still bottom half of the league.
I hope people don't make memes out of my reactions to what you guys are doing. I'm just such a
If by
visual
people you
person.
mean me? Is that
Yeah,
what-
literally. I better get a cut on the merch sale. But I'm just such like a reader of like a reaction of every single thing that you're saying, and I'm just like glass half full mentality. But no, I definitely think that they're more frustrated on it. Like I said before, I think it's definitely trust. If you want to come down to it, I think it is. I think the person who is this is my little theory, and I have so much respect for hockey players in this sense because if you take it back like maybe 5 years, 6 years, whatever, when Tarasenko would get a bunch of flack, when Pietrangelo would get a lot of flack, when Schwartz would get a lot of flack for not scoring, hockey players are so freaking savage that they know that they don't want to be a talk on the internet. And you know who scored last night? Kyrou. Kyrou's like, no one's gonna be mad at me on Twitter tonight.
Mhm.
I scored, and Tarasenko would always do that. We would be getting our butts whooped, and who would be going and score 2 goals? Tarasenko, and be like, no one's going to talk to me tonight.
Can't be mad at me.
Can't be mad at me. And I would be like, dang, man, like Tarasenko, you make me mad, but like you are so freaking stellar for doing that. No, I'm not to blame. Like, just I definitely believe that is definitely his mentality. But it's true because it just comes back to the point of like, are we getting beat? Is it more about we're getting spooked? Biz was talking about it. Dakota was talking about it. That Spitting Chicklets is probably talking about us. That Bar Down is probably talking about us. How we just looked how we're puck watching and we're so flat footed instead of us. All right, we're ready. Step up. It's not the step up mentality. It's the Nathan McKinnon's coming right at me. Like we can't have that. We can't have that. We got to bite the bone a little bit. And he said, what did he say? I think Biz said play almost basically like play with a chip on his shoulder, but he used a different expression. I don't remember the expression that he used.
To add to the stats and the idea and the thought process of playing better, and Justin did comment, so I'm going to bring up Justin's response to our statistics here in a second. I mentioned that the last 10 games, the Blues had scored 18 goals.
Mm-hmm.
In the 10 games before those 10 games, so between the 11th game ago and the 20th game ago, in that range, the Blues scored 17 goals. So we've gotten 1 goal better in our last 10. And then in that same range, the Blues gave up 24 goals. So we gave up 2 less.
So from November 15th until like Halloween, basically, is what you're saying.
Is that what that time frame matches
Vegas,
out to be?
Yeah, the 11/15 was Vegas, and then the 1st of November was Columbus when we got our asses kicked.
Yay.
Yeah.
So yeah, the stats don't give much, but I will add, Justin Scott brought up, he says, that's fine. I think he's mad at us. Sorry, Justin. Fine and dandy, but we all have eyes, and my eyes tell me that this team's look better. And I'm going to agree with the forecheck for me is something that I've noticed as being a lot more impressive. And these stats don't look great, but I bet if you look at like expected goals or even some Corsi numbers, I bet you'll see increases in those. So maybe you can find increases in chances, and they're just not falling yet, but they might be coming. So I will say, Justin Scott commenting online, I know the stats don't look great, but I do think I'm with you on, I do think they look like they're getting better. This is great. So typically in an episode, we go through the most recent games, and then we go through whatever things I wrote down, and we get through that. We've only gone through one game so far. But that's totally okay, because that's the kind of idea of this podcast is I have stuff written down, and if we don't get to them, it's fine. We'll just keep talking. That's what we're gonna do. But unfortunately, people pay me to talk right now. So I need to tell you again about Scooter's coffee, because my mushroom coffee is all gone, and I'm kind of chocolate coffee. Chocolate coffee sounds pretty good. So make sure you guys are checking out Scooter's Coffee. Get it nice and hot now that it's 20 degrees and there's snow everywhere. If you can, make sure you guys check out the Scooters on Highway 143 and Troxler Way in Highland, or Vandalia Street and Indiana Avenue in Collinsville, if that one's still standing, because that one got hit by a car. So I don't know how that one's doing. Or you can check out any of the other 30 locations in the greater St. Louis area. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast Scooter's Coffee. Also, check out on Facebook, Hughes Custom Design. They are a family-owned and run small business that operates out of Maryville, Illinois. They specialize in laser-cut, hand-painted signs, and they have options that are typically ready upon request and can complete almost any request for custom jobs. If you follow them online, you will eventually start seeing their posts, and then you will buy one because they are sweet. Custom wood, 3D, with lights in the back. They're pretty cool. Eventually, Dakota will have one hanging behind him, I'm assuming. I have to actually pick some up from. And then last but not least is Imprint Labs. They specialize in bringing your brand to life with custom laser engraved Richardson hats and vibrant custom sublimated metal prints. Whether you want to make a statement with high quality headwear or showcase your designs on eye-catching metal art, they deliver precision, durability, and style every time. Elevate your brand with Imprint Lab, where your vision meets our craftsmanship, which is a stupid slogan, because their slogan should be, if you have shit and you want it on shit, they're your people. And I could say that because it's my parents that run it. But we've gone over it. My koozie's over there, but we got the mouse pad. Did you get your mouse pads, Dakota?
Yes, I did.
Are they sweet?
They're badass.
Yeah. And then I had the metal print. I got to hang this up instead of just holding it, but this thing is cool. Like metal. It's shiny. It's sweet. So check out all of our friends. Check out all of our friends around. You know yesterday was Cyber Monday. Which day is like small business? Is that Small Business Tuesday? Is that today?
Saturday.
Small Business Saturday. Oh, we missed it. Well, it's okay. You can still go buy from them. So still go do that. All right. Let's just kind of skip Ottawa and skip Utah, because thankfully we won those games, and there wasn't really a whole lot going on in those games. I do want to bring up, I guess, real quickly, the Utah game being, I want to say, Clayton Keller's second game since his father passed away unexpectedly. And the Blues did a pretty cool moment of silence for him, as Clayton Keller is a St. Louis guy. And actually, me and Justin's, one of our last messages was Justin had texted me, and this was like a month and a half ago, and said, "Go Utah." And I was like, "What? Why are you rooting for Utah?" And he said Clayton Keller. And I was like, "Oh, I could respect that." So I am rooting for Clayton Keller when he's not playing against the Blues and destroying us. So 2 good wins there. We did have a very interesting game, though, yesterday, because we are recording Tuesday night. Yesterday, the Blues play against Anaheim, coached by Joel Quenneville, who is back behind the bench and has Anaheim surging. They are leading the Pacific Division right now. We ended up losing 4-1 in that game, but the bigger problem or the bigger issue was Jordan Binnington lets in 2 goals on 5 shots and gets pulled 10 minutes and 24 seconds into the game. Justin, were you watching this game?
I actually I think I was watching the first intermission and then my stream failed. But can you, because my girlfriend and I, we were watching the highlights this morning, and from what I saw is that he faced 5 shots and then was pulled.
5. That's it.
If you really want my opinion, my girlfriend was a goaltender for Lindenwood for a year. She played college hockey, college women's hockey, and she looks at me and goes, "So Hofer went in cold." I went, "Yeah," and he played his ass off. And she goes, "Why did he pull?" I go, "Let's watch the goals." And we watch both of them. And she goes, "Okay, I get it. Like, yeah, Montgomery can be like PO'd about it, but why would you pull him in the first after he's faced 5 shots?" I don't get it.
I mean, this brings me back to the game that Jacob and I went to against, I believe, also Utah, because in that game, ironically enough,
oh my gosh,
ironically enough, Joel Hofer faced, I can't remember how many shots. I think he let in 4 goals and then got pulled within 10 minutes because Logan Cooley had a natural hat trick, scored 3. Then he pulls Hofer, puts Benner in, and then Hofer starts the third period. That was a game we didn't understand. This game, I still don't understand. I understand him pulling him, but it was only 5 shots and 2 goals. Like, there's a point in, like, I feel like goaltender mentality where you just gotta like eat your breakfast, and then come back from it. The second shot, I think he played himself. Like, he was, it was a weird shot. It did go post and in, but like, I think he took the wrong route to it.
Well, the first goal was just dumb. It was just a fluke goal. The first one that just got by him, that was just a stick off net. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know who scored that on
McTavish, I think.
Thank you, McTavish on Anaheim. But that was
just
if that goal doesn't go in, then you just pulled him after 1 goal.
You look at Benner's mentality. He's always had that fiery mentality. He's always on the Spit and Chicklets podcast, and they've always interviewed him and asked him this question, like, is that like something is that a shtick, or is that like just how you are? And I think all goaltenders can say they're just a mental head case. You kind of have to be to face rubber game in and game out. But I was really, really surprised that he pulled him, but I was not surprised at Benner's reaction. I think 9 times out of 10, if it's anybody else in that, you're going to get the same reaction. Like, why are you pulling me? Like,
did you guys hear what Monty said to the press?
I thought it was kind of
about what they talked to about.
Yeah, he goes, "I told you I loved him," and he told me he loved me back. I was like, Monty's so good. Monty is such a character, dude. What a gentleman. I told him I loved him. He told me he loved me back. Right. Like, that's so great. That's just some Monty. That's some Monty stuff right there. That's so awesome. Here's my thought. I didn't hate to cut you off.
What I'm thinking about it is kind of like the internal development of the roster and what's going on inside the locker room. Obviously, I would love it if we had like a fly on the wall moment where we can kind of see what's going on, because you got the captain Braden Shen, like, he's kind of an outspoken guy, but he's also kind of, I feel like, reserved in most scenarios. What is happening in the locker room that we don't know about? Is Benner getting shafted? Because I feel like Joel Hofer's had a decent amount of starts this year, if not half and half. Yeah. But like, I mean, Hofer does have 2 shutouts on the year and Benner has 0. Like, like, there's got to be something going on, the internal dynamic of that locker room that we obviously don't know as fans, but we would love to figure that out. Because if you look at the fucking team on the bench, they weren't surprised at all that Monty pulled him. If Justin Falk even gave him a pat on the pads and was kind of chitting with him or chirping him a little bit, being like, "Hey man, just like take a walk." What is happening? Is this the 2019 Blues where Bertuzzo beat the holy piss out of somebody? Yeah. Do we need that to happen? Does Nathan Walker? I mean, I know he's missing 8 weeks now, but like, does somebody have to beat the hell out of somebody in the locker room for us to kind of like shake it out of us?
I think we have to go through the checklist first. We have to fire a coach. There's a process to this, and then we have to find a goalie in the middle of nowhere, Springfield, Massachusetts, and come play for us. So yeah, there's a lot of other steps we have to get that before we fight each other.
Justin wants us to answer his question in the comments. He says that I get goalies have nights off, but those 2 goals should not have go in. I disagree. I say one. I say the first one is a fluke, but the second one definitely he should have had definitely better coverage. But I totally get it. It didn't absolutely the right call to pull him. I mean, yeah, you can definitely make that opinion. I don't think so. I don't understand why, because we've literally kept Binnington in when we've been losing 4-1. I don't get
But
it.
it ruins the psyche of a goaltender, right? The only way to get better is to see pucks. Am I wrong? Like we also talked about this with Joel Hofer, like maybe three suns ago. In
I
order
also
for
don't
him to
think
get
you
out,
should. I also don't think you should shake up one position to literally. I don't want to say get back at your team. Obviously, Montgomery always says, "Oh, we just needed a change of pace." It's like, okay, the change of pace. That's what the intermission is for. Why are you pulling your goaltender and putting a cold one in? That's just my opinion.
I did want to talk about John's comment here because he says, "Do we honestly think that, or this Monty and Bennington banter is a big deal?" Because he does not feel it. To me, I don't. I don't find it as a big deal. Jordan had a 2.5 minute interview that Jeremy Rutherford shared on Facebook, and they talked about it after the first period, and they've moved on, and they are fine. But again, I think the conversation that's happening right now is not, or do Jordan and Monty hate each other? But my also thought, did you happen to watch Justin Monty's reaction to the second goal? Did you see that video?
He said it's a pretty choice words up to the jumbotron. Yes, he did.
So I think my biggest problem with this is it seems like moves in hockey are fairly tactical. They're fairly thought out. Okay, I'm putting this line against this line. I'm mixing these lines sometimes because we're doing this. Whatever it is, there is thought behind it and there is tactics behind it. It felt like Jordan Binnington's pull last night was 100% emotion.
yes,
I'm pissed off and I'm going to pull him because of it. Although it was Steve Ott that kind of whispered in his ear, and then Monty was like, "Oh, okay." So there was, I think, either some thought from Steve or the thought is from the goalie coach up in the stands, kind of gave Otter the idea, and that's why
I
it
still don't
happened.
get it. We were coming off 2 wins at home, and I get it, like wanting to have that higher caliber or that expectation for your team to hold. Hold higher and be stronger, I guess you could say, at the start of the game. But I just feel like it was a little bit of a reaction of like freaking beep, freaking censor button, freaking beep, whatever, and just
Use
your
your
hands up.
roadcaster.
Yeah, I'm about ready to, but like the censor button and just like kind of freak out. It's just like Monty, do you not realize the team that you're playing? And that's kind of like my other point. I'll just keep this super brief, but Anaheim's different than what they were 5 years ago. 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. They have half the New York Rangers. They don't have Trevor Zegras anymore. They've been very, very good with developing of everything, and they're also gelling too. They're top of the Pacific Division, and we can't, I just think it was an overreaction. I think it was an overreaction. And he goes, "Well, I just didn't want to regret it." You didn't want to regret something that was probably not the right decision. Like we usually have your back, Monty, but pulling Binnington after those 2 goals, no, I don't see it.
yeah, and I like what you said too, Jacob. It was very reactionary, right? He was pissed off, looked up at the jumbotron, just said some choice words, and immediately gave him the hook. I do believe you when you say they're tactical, and I 100% believe that as much as it can be, hockey is very positional. Like you have to be at the right positions to make the right choices and whatnot. I think Bennett was out of the position for goal number 2. That's why it led to it kind of looked like he had no idea where the puck was going. But again, if you allow him to kind of sit on the fact that he's getting pulled after those 2 shots or those 5 shots and 2 goals, how is that building the confidence of your goaltending tandem? How is it? Because yes, obviously there's a reason why we dress 2 goaltenders. If one goaltender's not having it for the night, you let him sit. But we also haven't won a lot of games. Like, it'd be one thing if Joel Hofer, every time he came in, was putting up a shutout or allowing only 1 or 2 goals. I mean, yeah, obviously it's going to be tilted one side. Hey, Hofer's probably going to be our number 1. Benner, if you're not feeling it one night and you're letting in 3 goals, we're probably going to have a quick pull. But the dude won a Stanley Cup for you. What is that? What is that like? For me, I'm the first one to shit on all of our goaltenders. No questions about it. But I do feel like that
He's
hook,
right.
that hook kind of sends some sort of like a, I don't know, smoke and mirrors kind of thing to the team, right? Like maybe there is something kind of developing under the surface. You've seen Benner's name pop up in trade rumors. You know, like is this kind of a
Edmonton? Like really, you're gonna send Binnington to Edmonton? Who are we gonna get back? Ryan
That's
Nugent
just
Hopkins?
stupid clickbait things
Oh,
that
it
people are
definitely is.
people are trying to think that they're smart, but everybody in the hockey world, people who don't even play hockey knows that Edmonton needs a goalie. Like that's how bad their goalies are.
That's
So
true. Yeah,
it's not
that's
any
true.
there's no
There's
thought process.
definitely. I tell you what, man. Like I'm for one, kind of like the one that was kind of like defending Skinner in the offseason. Because like, oh, Skinner's trash. Skinner's dog water. Skinner's this. I go, but Skinner honestly was probably one of the reasons why they went to the final. Was he phenomenal in the final? No. But did he help them really get to the final and be their backbone on top of their defense? You know, Darnell Nurse stepping up and Matthias Ekholm stepping up and everything. Yeah, like Edmonton was not supposed to win against Dallas in the Western Conference final.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely they're not doing well right now. Go for it.
I have a question for you folks. I'm curious what you're going to say, so that's why I want to say it to both you and Jacob. But of the injuries that have come about, being Alexei Torpachenko, Jimmy Snuggerud, and now Nathan Walker, what injury do you feel like is going to be felt throughout the roster the most?
Snuggerud.
I don't like your answer.
That's the answer, though.
I mean, yes, I believe Snuggerud, yes, but I feel like there's a better answer to this question that we could talk about.
Are you going to say Walker?
Were you not going to?
Huh?
I mean, honestly, I know that this podcast is a forum, and I believe we should use it as such. But Nathan Walker has undoubtedly been probably the best Blues player since he's come as a full roster spot. The amount of tenacity that he shows for a 5'11", 195 forward needs to be talked about. The fact that he can back check, he can play the offensive ability, he checks all those boxes. He may not be lighting up the score sheet, but he is undoubtedly one of the best Blues players we have on our roster. Jimmy Snuggerud, great, yes. Are we going to miss his offensive ability on the power play and his uncanny ability to find the corner of the net? Absolutely. But for somebody who plays a 200-foot game, and I'm not saying Snuggerud doesn't, but Nathan Walker has shown that ability.
I personally think Walker is phenomenal, but I also think that Walker is a little bit of a lightning rod. I think he's a little bit emotional, and I totally get it. Like, you know, some days you don't like being whacked. Some days you don't like being speared. Some days you are not a fan of, you know, somebody following checks. Like you said before, road trips are hard. You're not sleeping the best. And the only thing that you really have to bind with yourself is that your teammates on the bus getting home and, you know, getting to the hotel late at night. I think Walker's phenomenal. Like I said before, but I'm just really not a fan of his temper sometimes. It feels like, oh, well, you're talking about Nathan Walker's temper, and we just got done talking about Binnington. I know, I know. But as far as creativity that I see from Snuggerud, I think I more look for Snuggerud needs more experience of where he is. And I think disattaching him from the chemistry that he's not getting now because he has to take some time off of injury. I definitely think that that's experience and that's time on the ice that he's not getting.
Jacob?
I'm going to add a stat for you that will help your cause out, Dakota, in that I believe it is Walker and also Sundqvist that are in the top 5 of the St. Louis Blues in 5-on-5 points. So the fourth line has been driving 5-on-5 action when it comes to point. Shoot, in our game against, who was it? Where is it? Ottawa. Buchnevich scored his first 5-on-5 goal.
It was his third goal of the season, but the first goal he got 5-on-5 for Buchnevich. Nathan Walker, I think, is maybe up to 6 or 7 points. Sundqvist, I think had 7 or 8 assists alone, and I think scored his first goal not too long ago. He scored his first goal also against Ottawa. But yeah, the fourth line has been driving 5-on-5 play. So I get your thought process of Walker. I still think I'm going Sundqvist. If you're going to go Walker, then you also got to throw Toropchenko in there. Like, that's your fourth line. Like, I think it's just the fourth line is going to be hurting without Walker and without Toropchenko, because now you're talking about Sundqvist there, probably Joseph, and then Kaskamaki once he comes to St. Louis and then flies back to Boston, because that's where our next game is, which makes no sense.
Doesn't yet.
Yeah, so that's. I guess it'll be interesting to see that. Joseph's got speed, but Sonny is slow, has been playing well. And then I've not watched Kaskamaki. I don't know what type of player he is. But for him to get called up over some of the kind of veterans that are down there, I think shows that he's been playing pretty well.
Did you want to touch on Alexandrov?
Yeah, he's gone. That's probably that's probably the thought, though. Like, if your call up so far this year have been Dvorsky and now Kaskamaki, why are we holding on to Alexandrov? The only reason we're holding on to him is because we thought that, like, I would have guessed he would have been up, but Dvorsky's been playing well. So, I mean, that the Dvorsky one didn't really surprise me at all. But the fact that they called up Kaskamaki before they called up Alexandrov was surprising. And maybe after they made that, they're like, oh, why do we even have him if we're not even going to bring him up when we're dealing with all of these injuries? So let's go get Akil Thomas. Essentially, they got the same. They got another. It's a forward for a forward. They're both 25 years old. They were both second-round picks. So it's a lateral move.
If there was any time to give some of our youth some freaking ice time, it'd probably be now.
Oh, I agree.
No.
I mean, was
so.
I the only person that got that notification on my Blues app and just was hoping for a bigger name to come across the screen instead of Nikita Alexandrov?
I didn't even.
I looked down so excited. I looked down and I was like, who?
Oh,
who did we give away?
The only notification that I saw today, I literally saw the injury report and I went, well, that just adds to today's festivities of Walker, Toropchenko, and Snuggeroo. And because I'm in the group chat with me and my buddies of Five Hole, and they were like, Snuggeroo needs surgery. I went, phenomenal.
Here's a we have a lot of comments that we need to get to. So, but before that, Suter is expected to play on Thursday. I don't even know why he was out on Tuesday. I had no idea that he was injured at all. And then why he was out on Monday. But the expectation is that he plays on Thursday, which is good. How nice would it be to have Zach Dean right now? Not nice at all. Okay, well, good.
I mean, we talked about this. Oh, fuck, we're falling apart over here. I mean, we talked about this early on before the season even started, about just like, man, we have such like a plethora of talent and youth and all this shit, and then we said that little word, that injury word, and then it was like, we forecasted this. Like, I'm okay if the Blues went like 15-2-2 and we got fucking hit with the injury bug. At least we have some sort of like fighting chance to be like, all right, 4 weeks from now, we might not be in a playoff race, but at least we're like hanging on by a thread. Right now, we're like desperately looking for, trades because we're not making that playoff hit. But now we've got to like dig into our youth, which is great. It's kind of the best time to do it. Like Justin was saying, is like, if you're out of a playoff race, might as well see what you got going on and then, figure out from there. But yeah, Zach Dean would be delicious.
Delicious from the chef. I got to scroll up a little bit from, let's see, what time is it? 6:28. This was like 20 minutes ago. But Justin Scott had a big one. 3 keys to the loss for Monday. Bennington needs to make saves. The Blues didn't score. I mean, they had lots of chances. But I really wanted to hit on number 3 here that Justin Scott provided. and that is that going 0 for 6 on the power play was not a good thing. And to make it worse, the Blues are 1 for 20 in their last 20. 1 for 20 on the power play in their last 20 chances. Now, I will say, throw one small caveat out there. One of our power plays was like 14 seconds because we had a power play and then Sundqvist took a penalty 10 seconds in. So it's kind of stupid that they count that, but still. Okay, 1 for 20.
For 19. Well, exactly what you just said. Yeah, 1 for 20.
Yeah.
That needs to change. That explains everything. That just explains just missed chances. That explains of just like that those are, if you combine that, that's what, like a exceptional amount of time that we have man advantages that people that we know on our roster can score. Sundqvist, Shen. Somebody in the comments is talking about Buchnevich, saying that he's been a lot better. I feel like he's getting a lot better too, and he's not dealing with everything that was last year because a lot of last year he was getting a little bit. He was getting chirped online saying, "Well, Buchnevich was just invisible." I was like, "It's not about being invisible. It's about being covered by 3 Winnipeg Jets." Like, back off, Buchnevich. He's a blessing. Just chill. He's good, but if he doesn't have the puck, he can't score.
Yeah.
I would
say
dog Buchnevich.
Buchnevich and Dvorsky, I have seen getting good opportunities and just not converting them. Mm-hmm. Like, if I had to put money on somebody on this team to be a 20 goal scorer, even though it looks like they have no chance, I'd probably put it on Dvorsky because he's probably had 8 grade A chances and has scored none of them. And so if he's getting in those chances, eventually they're going to go in. Like, he's a shooter.
I think it was the New York Rangers game. I heard 2 posts. 2 posts. Ting, ting. I was like, we're so close. Keep doing it. And I'm just looking at my girlfriend, and she just goes, "What's the score?" I go 3-2. She's like, "How much time is left?" I'm like, 2 minutes. I was like, we're this close. Like, you have macaroni, and it's not made yet. It needs boiling water, but then you just have noodles, and there's no flavor. Then you have to add the cheese packet. If there's no cheese packet, then it's just noodles. It's not mac and cheese, just macaroni. And right now we just have the box. Some days
we have the ingredients. We just got to put them together appropriately. Add a little milk.
Not that good with food analogies, but sometimes when you're just in the same process right there and everything.
Does making mac and cheese count as a food analogy? Is mac and cheese food? I mean, I love mac and cheese, chef. But Dakota, can I make Kraft? Oh, what's that called? What's the one that Mike called it? Kraft KD. You want to get a KD tonight?
Yeah, a little KD, a little Kraft dinner.
A little Kraft dinner, which is mac and cheese in Canada.
I just want to say this. I am so thankful that sports betting is now legal and live in Missouri.
Well,
because your boy just won $170 during this podcast. So we are.
You did?
On what?
Yeah. I placed on DraftKings. We're not sponsored. Hopefully we will be. But yeah, DraftKings Sportsbook. I took the over at $45 to win 170 if the Dallas Stars game is over under. I took the over on 1.5 goals in the first period. Just cash that in.
Nice. I looked. I was going to share it yesterday on our Facebook page because DraftKings keeps your stats, so it'll tell you how much money you've won and how much money you've lost. And I thought I've lost like a significant amount of money. Luckily, it's only $500 that I've lost through betting. But I thought it was like in the $2,000 area. So I was going to screenshot it and post it and be like, guys, it's not that great.
Can I show you the pure luck that I lucked out during the Stanley Cup final?
I can't read that.
I don't know if I can see that.
I scored
470. You won 475. I think
475 on a $50 bet.
There you go.
Picks you love that.
Final.
Dakota, you haven't talked to Luke at all.
Freaking out
recently, have you?
No. Does that have to do with sports betting?
Yeah, he's an addict of gambling. He did. I don't know how many picks he did on Sunday for football. Like 5, 6 maybe picks. Parlay, put $250 on it, cashed it out early for $5,000.
No shit.
You can hang out with him.
Yeah, right.
I will say this. Not to trump that, and I really hope this does pull off because your boy's got a lot of money to pay in rent for this new house. But I did put an 8-leg parlay for this Sunday for an anytime score. I think I have 8 guys on there. It's for 2.2 grand. Not a lot of money, but hey, could still help. Boy, I'm really hoping for that. This is not a football podcast, but hey, a little bit helps.
But we all play fantasy.
Absolutely.
All right. I want to do, I think, our Teach Me How to Doug section real quick, because we're talking about this team and how we seem to think that we're getting better, but we're not sure. And Teach Me How to Doug question kind of goes with that. But before, since Justin loves my AI created music, I have more.
Oh boy.
So we're going to listen to the Teach Me How to Doug song before we get into this segment.
Okay.
All right, you're in the chair now. Let's see if you got what it takes to run the Blues. Teach me how to Doug, teach me how to Doug. You're the GM now, make a trade, make a plug. Cap space tight, but the roster's got a bug. So show us what you got. Teach me how to Doug. Sign them, trade them, send them down to the A. Build a cup team like it's Judgment Day. You got picks, you got cash. Can you make a splash or crash? Better know your lines and match, because fans don't want to see a playoff collapse.
I always pause after that because it still hurts me when it says playoff collapse. And I made that like 2 years ago. So I guess it was foreshadowing. All right. We've been talking about the team thinking, passing the eye test, looking better. Stats kind of say that they're just around the same. We have all of these injuries now. Nobody could tell you where the Blues are going to be come January. We could either be the worst team in the league, or we could probably be in the 3 spot in the Central. Like there's a wide gap of where this team could end up. Are they going to play to the expectations, or are they going to play to how they're playing now? I guess. So with that in mind, The Athletic has a trade board out there, and they have Braden Shen as their number 6 most likely traded player in the NHL. Justin Falk at 8, Ed Cairo at 20. And then there's also the stupid rumors of Binnington going to Edmonton because any goalie on a bad team is rumored to be going to Edmonton. So my Teach Me How to Doug question for you, Justin, is, and you can take this either way. You can either do it if you are Doug Armstrong, or you can do it in what you think Doug Armstrong does. I don't care which way you do it. Do you see any of these players on the move?
You said Shen, you said Falk. How I look at trades, I kind of look at the money side of everything. Obviously, right before trade deadline is completely different. But if you're trading something, I guess it's definitely different, that it's going to play in the different way for contracts in December, rather than just this is the trade deadline and Brad Marchand is now a Florida Panther. Well, he was only a Florida Panther just because he was a UFA. That's how I look at kind of like the trades, kind of like for them to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably the only one on my podcast that defends Justin Falk. I think if we don't have Justin Falk right now, like we would just be like we would have 2 wheels instead of 4 wheels. That helps when you drive a car.
He's got, I think, 6 goals. So
you would just be just dog water right now. Shen is interesting. I see. I believe that he's a family man too, so I really don't see that like really holding weight. But Doug Armstrong has been on record saying, "Look, I'm not gonna. It's not. I don't have ill intention of like picking up the phone, and I don't see that my guys are price tags. I don't look at them like that. But I'm also will exercise my right to see what value my teammates are and what the market has them valued as, because that's definitely in my wheelhouse to be able to do as general manager of the St. Louis Blues. Doug Armstrong's a freaking savage, dude. He's so we're blessed to have him, regardless of how you feel. Like I said, we could be Buffalo. Let's see. You said Shen, and then Falk. Yeah, that's not happening.
Cairo's listed at 20.
But who's got money to get him? That's the thing that always that just breaks my head. It's like, yeah, we can sit here and play GM mode all day on Chell, but who is the UFA for him?
Who's sitting on 8 million right now in cap space that can also pay him for the next 8 years or 7 years,
if
I
you're
think.
in Canada.
Yeah.
9 million, 9.2. Yeah, exactly. Like, does Kyrie really want to go to the Senators? Does Kyrie really want to go to the San Jose Sharks? Or do we have anybody that we're really eyeing out on San Jose, Ottawa, or someone who's got money like Columbus?
Mm-hmm.
No, or I don't think so. We do, unless Zach Lorensky is going to do a 1-for-1 for Braden Chen.
Which then why would you even trade for Braden Chen? You're trading for Braden Chen because you're trying to make the playoffs, so you're not giving up a roster spot or a roster player.
And then exactly. It just has to make sense. Like I said before, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, cool, but that'd be cool, but like that's rage bait. Look at the comment section.
Follow up then.
Yep.
Ryan O'Reilly is the number 7 player on this list.
Yeah.
If this team moves in the opposite direction and starts playing well, is that an option for you?
It would be nice to see, if you're asking me. It'd be cool. I would feel bad that he would have to uproot his entire life, even though to come back to familiar faces. I would also feel like it definitely has to make sense. But is it just going to be who do we have to trade with? What are we going to get? Respectfully, all respect to Ryan O'Reilly. But I feel like we're kind of, at our own lunch table now. Like I always say that, the league, I feel like every single year the league just turns into the fourth or fifth day of school. Everybody's got their own cliques. Everybody has their own lunch table now. And you want to just like uproot your friend groups of everything and just move across the lunchroom. It's got to make sense. Like, if we, who are we going to send to Nashville? Are we who do we get from we did a 1-for-1 for Bolduc. Who do we get from Bolduc again?
Logan
Mayhew.
Thank you. Like I don't think he's gonna be interested in leaving. We have our youth in our system to help our system, not be trade bait. So that's where my thoughts go.
Nashville has come out and said that they are looking for a first-round pick and a good prospect for Ryan O'Reilly. So you're thinking first and like Otto Stenberg, or they're probably going to ask for Snuggerud, Jake Neighbors, or Dvorsky would be my guess. You say no to all three of those, and then you say, how about
Ryan O'Reilly? I love Ryan O'Reilly, and what that man did for our city during the final needs to be respected, but respectfully, pass.
No, just no.
Like, I'm sorry, we don't. We have like Doug Armstrong has invested so much of our draft picks to our youth. Why do you want to go to Nashville and go shopping? Respectfully, it's just not necessary. It'd be different if our AHL affiliate was the Hershey Bears. No offense to Hershey, but like, or our affiliate was like the Orlando Solar Bears, and we didn't have that much. Didn't have like that youth in our barn that could be up in the next 3 years on our draft picks. Why are we shopping in Nashville? Like, unless it makes sense, but I don't think it's up the flagpole.
Dakota?
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, no to Ryan O'Reilly. I'm not. We're not in the business to shop. I think they need to pull one out of the hat with what they have on the roster and do exactly what the Cardinals did last year and just kind of basically trial by fire. See what the roster has. See what the farm club has done. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, still great because you get to see what you have in development. Like
Justin Scott just said, Alex Tuck. That's that.
He brought that up on when he came on his episode.
Alex Tuck really a UFA? Has it been that long? Has it already been 3 years?
I'm not. I'd have to check Puckpedia on that.
That's what I have to say. Who's a UFA? Because a UFA just makes things so much easier NHL UFA 2025, because a lot of people have already been locked down. Like the big signings of the UFAs of this upcoming season have already locked down. Jack Eichel signed 8 years or 7 or 8 years. Kyle Connor, he's staying in Winnipeg. McDavid, he signed for a 2-year. So like you're running out of these like UFAs that would just make sense of like being able to just go all the way down. Ehlers, he's already been signed. Cody Ceci, he's already been signed by the LA Kings. Dumoulin, Nate Schmidt, we got Suter from Vancouver, right? So where is all of this trade bait? Like I said before, this is like, this is 4th grade and you're trying to find a new friend group at week 2 of a brand new school. Everyone has their own cliques.
Alex Tuck is a UFA after this year.
Is a UFA. Okay. Oh wait. I think.
And he's only getting paid $4 million. So if Buffalo,
you are kidding me.
If Buffalo is not making the playoffs, they almost have to trade him. Like Justin Scott. It's crazy that Justin Scott is commenting, and Justin, is it Minich? Is that how you pronounce it?
Minich. It's all good. Minich. It's all good.
Minich. It just. But yeah, if Buffalo is not going to make the playoffs, they have to trade Tuck because he is a good player on a very small salary and can go play anywhere.
I mean, here we go. I just pulled up because I'm dumb. I completely forgot that next year is 2026, so I have to do UFAs for 2026, not 2025. But just looking at this list right now, and Temi Panarin, his cap hits at like 11.2. He's too expensive. We're not giving up our entire roster for Temi Panarin. Cale Makar is a UFA too, but he's capped him at 9.
Yeah,
there's no way we're gonna get him. Trouba's a UFA for defense. We don't need any more anything else from defense. And as far Jason Robertson would be nice, but if Dallas does a 1-for-1, we're gonna have to give up, like you said, probably Neighbors, a draft pick, or somebody else. Now a lot of people would like to see Kyrou, but that's an entire different podcast.
Mm-hmm. Any of these players that are on playoff teams aren't moving though. Jason Robertson has been talked about just because there's a chance that Dallas can't re-sign him. Like they might not have enough money to do so. So they might just say, you know what, instead of losing him for nothing in the offseason, let's see what we can get back. I imagine they find the money somewhere else and move a lesser guy and in order to repay him.
And I believe the salary cap doesn't really go increase until I think 2026, 2027. I think it's definitely going to cap out at I think 93 million in the next couple of years because I think it's 82. No, that's a pretty big jump.
No, we'll be up to like 100 and something in like 2 years.
2 years, 100
yeah.
and something. Yeah,
but
there's definitely a stat that I broke down on the podcast where it does jump exponentially.
Yeah, there's a big jumps coming.
Mm-hmm. Which is just something that's just going to happen.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to the last thing then, and it's something I'm bringing back because I used to do this on every single episode since we started, and then just kind of forgot about it. It just kind of disappeared, and then I got this new iPad and I made this new thing, and I'm like, let's keep doing it. All right, so Justin, the Blues are currently 9-11-7. I want you to see if you can guess the final record for the Blues this season. Final record, 9 wins.
I always do this. Whenever this is something that I do whenever we get closer to the end of the season, and we're always just staring at the calendar. And this, I literally like drive myself a little crazy. I write down all the remaining games that we have beforehand, and I do a tally. Okay, 2 points tonight. Okay, 1 point that night. Or, okay, maybe this day we get our butts kicked by San Jose or whatever, this and that. And I go for the remainder of the games. And then I add it to the tally of what we have to see how many points we finish with the season and dictate if that's enough for us to sneak into the tournament. Like I said, I do this math. I've done it in front of my friends, and they're like, how are you doing this? I go, because I have to know. I have to know if 94 points is going to cut it. I got to see if 94 points is going to be the cutoff if we're a wild card team, if we're third in our freaking division.
Right.
And what did we finish last year with? It was like 97, 99,
something high 90s, high 90s,
high 90s, exactly, yeah. High 90s. Which, if you would have talked to us in November of that year, we've been like, oh my God, 99, let's go. So you said you want record out of 82, and right now we're 9-11. Oh my gosh. Well, okay, I got to make sure that my math is also right, so I just don't look like a complete idiot right now.
Oh, I do that all the time.
9-11 and 7. 9-11 and 7. So we're still. That's 20. That's 20 games. No, that's not 20.
27 games in.
27 games out of 83.
82.
82. Thank you. So that's 50. So that's basically 55 that I have to make the record of where we stay, of where we stop. I honestly think that this team, if we get it together, 42, 27, and 9. Does that get me to 82? I'm gonna be very
That won't get you to.
How many games am I missing?
I'm gonna use a calculator.
42. I have the calculator. I literally have the calculator in my hand, literally right now. That's why I was able to do the 27, 44.
13. You need 13 overtime losses, which is only another 6 for the rest of the season.
And those can also go into regulation losses as well, instead of them having to just
up
like crazy. I hope.
Well, do you want the point? Do you need the point? Because right now you're
true.
sitting at 84 points.
Oh.
If you take the 13 overtime losses, it gets you up to the 97.
44. I think we can at least win 44. I don't see why we couldn't.
So you're going 44 wins?
Yes.
44 wins, 27 losses.
And you said 13 in overtime?
Well, now it would be 11 in overtime.
I'm fine with that. Lock it in. I'm fine with that.
44 plus the 27 plus the 11. That gets you the 82.
We can do that.
That gets you to 99 points.
Weren't we there last year? Let's run it, boys.
Justin did point. I guess it was 96.
96. Okay.
96.
96. That does seem a little bit low, just because of how because it's just of how fast Dallas just went on a 10-game winning streak, 8 winning streak, and then Minnesota in their last 10 are 8-2. Winnipeg has dropped significantly. They've kind of been having a little bit of a slump, and Colorado has just done something that hasn't been done since 2013 Blackhawks, and gone I think maybe 11, 2, and 3 in their last 15 or something.
Winning a shit ton.
winning. I don't know if you guys the hockey personality channels have grown so much on YouTube in the past 3 years, from Eck to Hockey Psychology to Jimmy Hockey to all of these huge channels that have bloomed because of the hockey guy. And one of the ones was there are 4 teams that have done something crazy, or 3 teams that have done something that has not been done since 2013. And the team that has done it now is the Colorado Avalanche, who have now gone so and so whatever. And I'm just sitting there just going, it's gonna be a long season. We got to get our crowd together. We play Colorado in their barn on New Year's Eve.
Oh God,
that's what I said.
I'm gonna be busy that night.
It's hard to win in that barn. It's hard to win in that barn. It's scary. It's terrifying. We don't really have good memories, except we do have one good memory from that. Is forcing what was it, Game 7? Yeah, we forced Game 6 home after Tyler Bozak scored the OT winner in 2022, because that was the year the Avalanche won the cup.
After the bubble.
Yep, after the bubble.
When Kadri ran into Binnington.
Yep. Yes, I believe
that
it. Yeah,
year,
because we actually forced it to Game 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though everyone likes to talk about, Nathan McKinnon went coast to coast on us. Yeah, but you guys lost that game in overtime, and your fans had to watch you guys get out of the stands. Yeah, that's why I say it, to make myself feel better. He dominated Colorado 8-3. He dominated Colorado 8-3 in Colorado. He might have. But no, I definitely see that if we get everything that we can together, I think we just need a little bit of time, and we may need a refresher after this holiday break, because we all thought Minnesota was going to be killing it last year. Minnesota was killing it going into into Christmas going last year. I was talking to my cousin; he lived up there for 5 years, and I was just like, bro, we may have to play. You and I may have to play playoffs. Nah, Minnesota went the exact opposite way into the wild card into the Pacific Division and took Vegas to 6 games, didn't they?
I don't remember.
They took Vegas to 6. They were putting up a fight against Vegas. If Vegas would have, if Minnesota probably would have been able to tie the series 3-3, it probably would have been Minnesota playing Edmonton in the second round instead of Vegas. It was nuts. Like I said, we're obsessed. We are obsessed about the entire league. We are obsessed.
All right. Well, we're normally shooting for about an hour, but this was a good one. So we got over to an hour and about 25 minutes. Justin did. I got to pull this up here. He's calling himself the Whose Line Is It Anyway champion. We've had some pretty good people for Whose Line Is It Anyway, and Justin Scott did nail it. I have a pretty good idea that Justin here probably would have done a pretty good job too, but we're out of time. We got to get out of here. Especially because the last one I had for you was the first line for Pittsburgh. Like, it was Sidney Crosby. So, but Kevin Hayes is on the first line, and I was really confused by that. So that's why I threw it in there. So make sure you guys check out Scooters, get some hot coffee in the morning because it is still cold. I had a snow day today. I didn't have to go into work. It was pretty nice, but maybe I need a hot coffee tomorrow. Check out Hughes Custom Design on Facebook for your wood, hand carved, hand painted, whatever, wood signs. And then check out Imprint Labs. Give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please check us out on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple. Make sure you check out 5 Hole Hockey on Spotify and
Apple Podcast and YouTube.
Spotify, Apple, and YouTube for Justin. Okay, you guys have plenty of times in the day that you're probably stuck in your car. There are plenty of hockey podcasts that you can listen to. We would prefer if you listen to the Blues Fan Forum, and if you listen to 5 Hole Hockey, and if you listen to Justin Scott, who's been commenting his Blue Note fan report. Give the Fan podcast a listen. Enough people listen to Spit and Chicklets. Enough people listen to the Last Minute Blues podcast. So give the fans some listens.
Facts.
All right, Justin, give me a big "Let's Go Blues," and we'll get out of here.
Let's go Blues!
All right, see you, everybody.